Every whitewater kayak should have 8 major points of contact in order to maximize your control. The feet, the thighs, the hips, the butt, and the lower lumbar. I have tweaked just about every boat I have ever owned, and you probably will have to as well. Your goal with your outfitting is to have even, snug contact throughout the boat as opposed to extreme pressure in one area or less in another. We are going to cover the outfitting in the order I usually outfit my own boats, starting with the commonly overlooked saddle. When you are sitting in your boat, your navel should be sitting at about the height of the cockpit rim, at the midpoint of the boat. This allows you to get the needed extension for your strokes, as well as the body extension you will need for the roll. If you feel like you are sitting up too high initially without any additional rise, you may consider stepping up in boat sizes. I, for one, tend to paddle boats that are a bit bigger, so I can carry more equipment and have forgiveness for bigger rapids. As a result, I raise my seat upwards using additional seat pads under my current seat pad. Not all manufacturers use the same outfitting system, and if you can't boost the seat under the current seat pad, gluing mini cell foam to the seat works just as well. The hip pads fill in the space to the left and right of the paddler and are one of the biggest culprits for discomfort, as they compress right on the T-band, causing the legs to go to sleep. The majority of hip pads found in boats sit way too low and should be raised up in order to minimize the pressure point, all while keeping your butt put. Fortunately, I think the stock outfitting of most boat makers is on the upward trend, but if yours sit too low, you can either rig your pads through the backband strap to pull it upward, or form your own hip pads from mini cell foam with a Surform. This takes some practice and is an acquired skill, but there is nothing more personal than your own custom outfitting. Regardless, get those hip pads up on the top of the hip bone as opposed to directly on the T-band. The way I like my outfitting to work is that I should feel snug and stay in my boat through contact of the seat, hips, and thigh hooks. I find the thigh hook is a crucial part of this system, and thus a more complete setup is what I desire with both inner and outer wings to the hook. The thigh hook should sit on the thigh just above your knees, not directly on the knee, and also not too far back. Otherwise, it inhibits getting in and out of the boat. The thigh hook gives you the majority of your lateral control or your rolling motion. It's no secret I'm enamored by a complete thigh hook, but also understand not everyone will have one. The importance of the outer wing is to help hold your leg upward and allow it to relax in a useful position. If you had to constantly lift your legs up into your thigh hooks throughout the day, it will leave your hip flexors, abs, and hamstrings exhausted. Believe the hype. Get with a full thigh hook or place a foam wedge on the outer wall and shape with a Surform. Your bulkhead is another critical point where you can either gain power or pain. If I am using just the stock bulkhead, I want the balls of my feet in contact with the bulkhead and my foot sitting at about a 45 to 70 degree angle forward, toes pointed slightly outward. What I don't want is the entire foot to be steeper than 70 degrees, as that is where the pain usually starts. For additional safety, you can add mini cell foam to absorb the impact you may take with your bow. You can go a step further and create a foam bulkhead with an appropriate angle, so your entire foot is in contact with the bulkhead and spreads the contact to ease any pressure points. Again, some playtime with foam might be necessary. The back band more than likely is the area that will need the least amount of attention, as by now manufacturers have simplified and nearly perfected this stock piece. However, a few things to note. If you have taken the time and care on the other key areas of the outfitting, you should have no need to over-tighten the back band, which can result in a sore spot. I find that I only tighten the back band to the point where I rest on it when I am not paddling. When paddling, I should be up off the back band just slightly, relying more on my core to keep me forward. This also keeps me from getting lazy on the river. There are also a few other boat outfitting considerations that don't directly relate to the paddler, more so with what you carry along with you. I always carry a water bottle and rope with me on the river and had always struggled with the solution to keep both accessible while in the saddle. I simply rigged a piece of webbing under the seat track so I can secure my rope on top of my water bottle. When rigging something up like this, make sure you can get in and out of the boat uninhibited. I will typically pack additional gear in the stern of the boat. At the same time, it's important to provide flotation to displace water in case of a swim. Dry bags that double as both flotation and dry storage are unbeatable for this. Be sure that you are distributing weight evenly throughout the boat and try paddling with a lot of weight on easier water first, prior to paddling something personally challenging, as the weight will affect the performance of the kayak.
Please take note that I left out critical safety equipment, as I believe that it is outside the scope of this project. I highly suggest seeking out professional swiftwater training and practicing those skills at least annually. Safety equipment in unskilled hands can be just as hazardous as not having any at all.